So the book is The Extraordinary Power of Being Average. And in that book, there is a chapter about imposter syndrome. But sometimes imposter syndrome is that you really are an imposter. Here's the story. So I'm a second or third year medical student, and I'm getting all of this love from people. Oh, you're so smart, you're going to medical school. People are tapping you on the back. I'm tapping myself on the back. I'm feeling like, pretty good. People start talking to you like you're a doctor, and you start giving advice like you are a doctor, but you are not. And so here is the situation. I'm sitting at home, and I hear this crash outside, and I run outside, and a car has crashed into a parked car right outside my house. I'm talking right outside my house. And as I walk around to see what's happening in the driver's seat, there's the guy that's been impaled over the steering wheel. And he has this irregular breathing, and there's a lot of blood. And I know exactly nothing about what to do, because all I've done up to that point is theoretical. It's anatomy, it's physiology, it's learning about the epidemiology of disease and how you might treat pneumonia. But here's a real-world situation of somebody that has crashed and is dying in front of me, and I don't know anything. I am an imposter in that situation. The story goes further, and it's kind of miraculous that another car pulls up behind this car, and out jumps this strapping lad and runs over to the situation, sort of pushes me aside, looks into the cabin of the car and sees what's happening, pulls the guy back, does something which I think is miraculous at the time, which is sort of a basic airway maneuver, and the breathing slows down, and he tells me, go call the equivalent of 911, and I go do that, and I felt terrible about this. Here I was, up to that point, feeling so excited about the fact I'd gotten into medical school, and everybody's, telling me how smart I am, and I'm telling myself how smart I am. But in the real world, I was an imposter. I didn't know what to do. I was paralyzed. I had no clue. And that was a seed that started to develop. And over time, I became an ER doc. I trained in 2 countries. And it also was the beginning of a medical education program which is now used all over the world. And that was also the beginning of a non-profit that is now used in over 160 countries across the world, teaching people emergency medicine and accelerating that education, because at that point I felt like a complete imposter. And the only way that I dealt with that is by becoming an ER doc and by using that angst and that sadness and that self-guilt and just feeling terrible and turning it into something positive. That's the power of being average. That's what this book is about. This is just one of the stories about how you can turn these things where you are less than average and turn them into something that is more than average. The book is The Extraordinary Power of Being Average. My name is Mel Herbert, and I hope you buy it because, all of the proceeds from this book are going to that non-profit that is accelerating emergency medicine education across the world.